Good morning and welcome to 101010 at Poets House, the poetry library in downtown New York City. Poets House is the place for poetry, poets, and all things verse. I'm Dave Johnson, poet and playwright, and your host of 101010, where we invite you at 10 a.m. on weekdays for 10 minutes to write a new poem. And in 10 days, you'll have 10 new poems. This morning on 101010 here at Poets House, we're going to read and discuss a poem by the poet Margaret Atwood. Probably know Margaret's work mostly as a fiction writer, and of course her work has become very popular in TV series and of course in the movies. But she's an incredible poet as well, and the poem I want to share with you this morning is called This is a Photograph of Me. This is from a book called The Circle Game. This is one of her early books, and it is the premier poem in this book. It opens the book. This is a photograph of me. It was taken some time ago. At first, it seems to be a smeared print, blurred lines and gray flecks blended with the paper. Then, as you scan it, you can see something in the left-hand corner, a thing that is like a branch, part of a tree, balsam or spruce, emerging, and to the right, halfway up what ought to be a gentle slope, a small frame house. In the background there is a lake, and beyond that some low hills. The photograph was taken the day after I drowned. I am in the lake, in the center of the picture, just under the surface. It is difficult to say where precisely, or to say how large or small I am. The effect of water on light is a distortion, but if you look long enough, eventually you will see me. Margaret Atwood. This is a photograph of me. All right, this poem is really compelling. I think there's a lot going on in this poem. We break it down from the very beginning. It was taken some time ago, right? At first, it seems to be a smeared print, blurred lines and gray flecks blended with the paper. I mean, what is going on here? A photograph of me. And you recall when it was taken, right? One of the most alarming moments in the poem, which you'll see when you actually read the poem, that it's in a parenthetical. The day after I drowned. The photograph was taken the day after I drowned. I mean, how is that even possible? What does it mean, right? I mean, there's a lot of interpretations I think you could go with here, right? She says, I am in the lake, in the center of the picture, just under the surface. It is difficult to say where precisely or to say how large or small I am. The effect of water on light is a distortion. But if you look long enough, eventually you will see me, right? And that's where she's getting to in this poem, right? And it's the idea, in a sense, that you're not really seeing the photograph, or is it a photograph of it all? Is it really an image of the self, right? This is what I'm going to ask you to do this morning. In the next few minutes, right, in this 10 minutes we have together, I'm going to ask you to write a photograph of yourself, right? And see what you come up with. It could be from an actual photograph, or it could be a photograph of how you see yourself or how you perceive yourself, or you could just start out and see where it takes you. This is a photograph of me, and just rip on that, right? On that one line and see where it goes. Okay? Take about 10 minutes and let's see what we come up with. Okay, we have now read This is a Photograph of Me by Margaret Atwood, and we're going to now write our own poem as a photograph, right? A photograph of yourself. And again, think of it as a photograph in words, as images in words, really. And it can be from a actual photograph that you actually have taken at some point in your life, or it could just be one that you imagine, one that you create, and allow it to take you wherever it wants to go. Remember in her poem, right, the photograph was actually taken the day after she drowned. And we're like, how is that even possible, right? So she allows the imagination, in a sense, to take over, right? So we're going to see. I'm going to give it a shot, just give you the first few lines of one that I'm going to work on right now, and then I want you to try it too. So I'm going to start with, yes, how about this? When I was 5. I can remember this one photograph, right? When I was 5, my mother dressed me in a brown pinstripe suit. All right. I went downtown to Olin Mills studio for a portrait. I remember I looked so good. Believe me, I did. I looked good. I looked so good, I told my mother, this is the suit I want to be buried in. You can imagine she lost her mind, right? So here's my poem. I totally just remembered this. When I was 5, my mother dressed me in a brown pinstripe suit. I went downtown to Olin Mills studio for a portrait. I looked so good, I told my mother, this is the suit I want to be buried in. There's my poem. Right now, you go write your poem. It can be from a real photograph. It can be from a made-up photograph. It can be from anything, right? And when you get your poem written, share it with us at the address on the screen. Margaret Atwood is originally from Canada, and she is an incredible poet who you probably know most of her pieces of fiction, which have many of them have been turned into film, and of course The Handmaid's Tale, which has been made into a series that went on to many awards and has won many. But she has several books of poems. She's written over 30 books in her life, and this book I'm holding here that we have here at Poets House, if you want to know more, we have lots and lots of books by Margaret Atwood, lots of books of poetry. This one is called You Are Happy, and don't be fooled by the title. This is a series of songs she wrote in the voices of animals, and this is one of my favorites called Song of the Fox. Dear man with the accurate mafia, eyes and dog sidekicks, I'm tired of you. The chase is no longer fun. The dispute for this territory of fences and hidden caverns will never be won. Let's leave each other alone. I saw you as another god I could play with in this maze of leaves and lovely blood, performing hieroglyphs for you with my teeth and agile feet, and dead hens, harmless and jolly as corpses in a detective story. But you were serious. You wore gloves and plotted. You saw me as vermin, a crook in a fur visor. The fate you aim at me is not light literature. Oh, you misunderstand. A game is not a law. This dance is not a whim. This kill is not a rival. I crackle through your pastures. I make no profit. Like the sun, I burn and burn. This tongue licks through your body also. You are happy, Margaret Atwood. We'll see you next time on 10 10 10 right here at Poet's House.